But,
he said he'd do it.
OK, there you go. 6:49, good morning to you. You're watching Breakfast, and a fifth of apprenticeships are now started by people over the age of 35.
Well, this is something that Steph's been looking at this week, and you had so much reaction. So many people were surprised by this,
yeah,
weren't they?
I basically put out a message on social media saying, if you're someone who's, you know, over the age of 40 or whatever, and you're doing an apprenticeship, let me know, and was inundated with lots of people telling me about their changing career. So it's really interesting. So I thought, right, well, let's get some of them on. So that's exactly what we're doing. Morning, everyone, because I think a lot of people think, don't they, apprenticeships are for young people, but there are thousands of people who are doing them to change career later in life. So here are some of the stories from viewers who got in touch with me yesterday to tell us about their career change. And you can see on the graphic as well, when it comes up, what job they were doing before and what they've changed to. So let's have a look.
I have a lot more job satisfaction. I'm learning every day, which I love to do, and generally I just feel happier, so that's great.
The reason I chose an apprenticeship was I wanted to challenge myself and do something that I hadn't done in the military and learn new skills.
This has given me the opportunity to gain new skills and knowledge with a greater responsibility. It's also given me access to a university education, which I didn't think I'd get at my age.
I have just enrolled at Askham Bryan College to do an apprenticeship for my equine groom qualification. I worked in a primary school as a special needs teaching assistant, helping children with complex needs, and I did that for nearly 15 years.
I used to be a hairdresser. I passed my level 2 butchery apprenticeship last year. I found it very useful being able to train whilst running the business, and I felt that it would be good for me and any future apprentices that we take on.
So there you go, some good stories there, and we've got more. I'm joined now by two apprentices, Lindsay Parr, who's a pub manager, and Sarah Ely, who's a nursing assistant. Thank you very much for joining us. Sarah, let me start with you, because you changed careers completely, didn't you? You were working in an office before. Tell us a bit about that.
Basically, I worked in an office for most of my working life up until 3 years ago, and at the age of 50, I just had a moment where I thought, I want to do something for me. I want to do something worthwhile. And that's what I did. I went for an interview for a nursing apprenticeship, and that's what I'm currently studying. And eventually I hope to end up with a nursing degree.
Yeah, and of course we need more nurses, so that's brilliant you're doing that. And what was it like then actually deciding to do an apprenticeship? I mean, were you a bit scared? Did you know much about them?
Yeah, going back to education after 30 odd years, you know, it was a bit daunting, but yeah, I've really thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's really, you know, changed my life.
Yeah, oh, that's brilliant. And Lindsay, for you as well, you're kind of climbing your way through the different levels of apprenticeships, aren't you?
I am.
What's good about them? Why does it work for you?
Well, it works for me because it's with work, so I get to do the apprenticeship as well as doing a full-time job and being a mum of 3. So it's quite flexible, which is great because it means that I've been able to do both. So I've been able to work full-time, plus be mum, plus do my apprenticeships, and then kind of in 2 years when I finish my level 5, should then be able to go towards being an area manager. And my kids have grown up, so
yeah. So for you, it's got you that qualification. It's getting you the qualifications to be able to essentially be promoted.
Yeah, absolutely.
In what you're doing. And Sarah as well. Just, you know, did it fit with your life? You know, because obviously there must have been a change of money and things like that.
Definitely, yeah. It is financially a bit of a struggle, to be honest, to start with, but you do get a qualification at the end of it, and you don't end up with a lot of debt once you've got your degree. You know, it's a win-win situation, really.
And when it comes to actually finding out about them, Lindsay, I know there was people who got in touch with me yesterday saying, I would love to do apprenticeship, but I don't even know like where you look for them or anything. You know, how have you known what to do?
Well, to be fair, because I work for Green King, they're really, really keen on pushing kind of people to do, so going hand in hand with the apprenticeships is promotion usually. So it's about, and with me I've got like 43 team that have done their apprenticeships with me.
Ah, so you're bringing the next cohort through.
Yeah, and then out of those 43, 26 have been promoted to kind of kitchen managers, pub managers, one's even a trainer. So it's just, for me and for the industry I'm in, and with Green King, it's about kind of changing just a bar job into a career.
Yeah, which is obviously really important for you. And Sarah, what about you? Did you know where to look?
Well, I actually sort of made that decision and actively looked myself, and the apprenticeship became available just at the right time for me, so it was just a question of looking on the websites.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a brilliant scheme, and because of taking me on, an older apprentice, we've taken on more older people.
Oh, really? So other people have seen what you've done and gone, oh, I quite fancy that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They're all watching. Hi.
Brilliant. Yeah, you've got to get your hellos into people when you're on telly. And just as a final thing as well, what about actually being in this education side of this, and the fact that you are probably with quite a few young people? I mean, does that bother you at all?
No, not at all.
No, I was quite surprised how well we got on with them.
I think if anything, we offer, because we are older, we give them something to kind of look up to, and inspire to be like, which for me is fantastic. And I think because as well, it's like some people see it as a barrier, the age, the the levels. So I think it's really beneficial to see that people doing it and have succeeded and just, keep going and going.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on to talk about it as well, because I'm sure there's probably lots of people at home thinking, oh, maybe that's for me. So thank you very much. Nice to see you. and let us know, get in touch with us, and thank you for all the people who did get in touch with us about what they're doing. So interesting.
Really is. Brilliant. Thanks, Steph.
Lovely to get some guests in the studio. I love listening in. We've got some, well, not really got guests, have we?